This is the lab for access control list. This scenario simulates real networking scenario that happens with modern days carriers. This carrier is providing Metro Ethernet services to several customers, so the customers share the same VLAN. We're working with VLAN number 2, and we have to use MAC access control list, port access control list, or VLAN access control list as needed. So the action item number 1 is customer A complains that its ARP cache shows other routers. So customer A is concerned about security. It has figured out that it is sharing the medium with other the VLAN with other customers. So make sure that customer A can only see the default gateway MAC address in the ARP cache. So let's do it. First, we have to make sure that there is connectivity, so all other customers can ping customer A. So what customer A is complaining about is that in its ARP cache, it is seeing other people. So let's go then into switch 1. We will use MAC access control list. In order to use it, we need these switches and MAC address. We will need the MAC address that belongs to the default gateway for this network, which is this. So let's go to switch 1. So we're going to configure switch 1, and we're going to add a MAC access control list here in order to filter the ARP request. So let's go to switch 1, and let's create a MAC access list. We only have the chance to create extended only the default gateway. We will only permit all the frames that comes from the default gateway to everybody. In this case, there is only one router, and we will deny everything else. We will apply this MAC access control list to gigabit 01. So let's go to interface gigabit 01 MAC access group. Only the full gateway, which is the access list that we created here. In only ingress is available. This is a rule for MAC access control list. So we can now show access list only the full gateway to see if there is any matches. We already have denies. So let's clear these routers ARP cache. Let's this is the hardest way to do it. Shut down, not shut down, but it is the best way to accomplish it. So if I should be able to ping the default gateway. I should be able to ping the internet, but I should not be able to ping other routers within the same LAN, because the ARP request will fail, and we should not be able to ping customer A from other customers. So this is the way to do that. Okay. Action item number 2. Customer B has 2 routers. Router 2 and router 4, most probably in two different sites, but those different sites belong to the same customer. So customer V needs to be able to communicate its two sites using a GRE channel between router 2 and router 4. So router 2 must only be available by router 4 and the other way around. Router 4 must be only accessed by router 2. So in this exercise, you must make sure that other customers within the VLAN will not be able to reach customer V. Customer V must also be able to reach the internet. So we have to make sure that I'm going to work with switches number 2 and switches number 3, that are the switches that give service to customer V. So let's go to switch 2. This is a way to do it. You can do it in many ways. You can place your access list in different places. This is just a way of doing it. So let's create an access list, IP access list. It will be extended customer V, and we will allow the host with the IP address number 4 to access number 2, okay? To be able to reach, we will deny IP, all the others. We also allow the default gateway to reach a host, and we will deny everybody else within the VLAN 2. Remember, we are using wildcards here, so everybody else will get denied access, and we will permit. This is an ingress. This is an ingress, so we will permit everybody else to reach this host. Okay. Permit IP. Okay. We are going to use VLAN access list, VLAN access map, customer V, sequence 10. We're going to match the access list what was the number? Customer V. And the action will be forward. By default, it should deny everything else. So let's see how it's ended up. Okay. Now let's try to apply to VLAN 2 filter. No, VLAN filter, customer V to VLAN 2. Okay. Okay. And let's see if this worked. From router 1, I'm going to ping. Oh, router 1 can't because we already isolated. So let's do it from another router. Router 3 should not be allowed. But router 4 should. Oh, something went wrong. Something went wrong here. Let's see how it is working. Switch to show access list, customer V. I am looking at this. This is the thing. The Vacl is applied on the ingress and the egress of the VLAN. So we should include the reverse permissions. So let's modify it. We should include the reverse permissions, which is 15 permit IP host 2 to 4. Then 25 permit IP host 2 to the default gateway. And 35 or maybe any to host maybe 45 host 2 to any. So there you go. Let's see router 2. Okay, it shouldn't be pinging anyone else. That is correct. Great. So router 2 is protected now. It should be able to ping the internet. Okay, great. So we have to configure this. We'll have to configure this, and the same for router 4 in order to protect this customer. So this configuration, the only thing this configuration does is isolating customer V from anyone else in VLAN 2. So I'm going to change only a few bits. This. Let's fire up a notepad. This is symmetric, so I'm going to change that. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. So I'm going to enter this in switch 3. I'm sorry, that will go into switch switch number 4 because it goes to the same customer. So let's go to switch 4. Enable const okay, we'll have to create the VLAN access map, customer V, sequence 10, match IP address, customer V, action forward, and then we're going to go to VLAN filter, customer V for VLAN number 2. So in that case, now router 4 should not be able to ping router 3, but should be able to ping router 2 and everybody else. Okay, default gateway, rate, ping the internet, rate. So customer V is isolated now. Customer C is late with its payments, block it from anything but reaching only IP address 10.1.1.1, which is a payment portal, and let it also reach 8888, and that is the DNS server. Make sure it cannot access any other router in the VLAN, and make sure it cannot access any other IP address but the default gateway and the host 10.1.1.1 and 8888. Okay, let's see. So let's try to use a port access list for that. I think that these switches don't support port ACLs, but let's see if how it could be done with port ACLs. So I should configure this and configure an ingress port access control list to gigabit 00. Let's see if that is possible. Let's see. Let's go to switch number 3. Enable const D. So we'll have to run an IP access list. So extended. I like the extended better. Pay, and we'll have to do 10 permits, or maybe maybe permit any to host IP any to host default gateway. Permit IP any to host change the sequence number, and 30 permit IP any to host, and it will have a deny any by default. So we should go to gigabit 00 and apply this port access list, IP access group, pay inbound only, but I'm not sure if this works with these switches. I shouldn't be able to ping anything else. We have 10.1.2.1. Let's see if we can reach it. So it is not working. So that is a way to apply a port access list, but it is not working. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to add maybe another switch, or I am almost full of CPU by now, so probably I won't be able to add more a bigger switch. Probably I will try it in another lab. So we are going to do it with VLAN access control list, unfortunately. So I will do a IP access list extended like no pay 2 and no, okay, I'm going to modify the already existing access list, IP access list, extended no pay. I will have to include the reverse permissions, like 15 permit IP 13 host IP to the default gateway. Sorry. Then 16 to portal and 3 to okay, so the access list, no pay, looks like that. Everything else is denied. So I'm going to add it to the VLAN filter. Oh, we have to create the VLAN access map. Access map, pay, match IP address, pay, action forward, then add it to the filter list, VLAN filter, pay, the VLAN list number 2. Let's test it. I shouldn't be able to ping this one. But only this, which is not working. Let's see why not. Something went wrong here. Show IP access list, no pay. Okay. My mistake. I didn't add the return for this host. 2 to 1. Oh, this became a mess. Sorry. permit IP host 10.1.1 to host sorry about that. It should be cleaner. But I made it in a rush, so okay. And I should be able to ping this one, not this one. That's it.